What's going on, everybody? I am Farley, and I am here today to begin a new series, which is a tutorial series, as you might have guessed by the title, for scripting. Now, let me say first things first, straight up, this tutorial is intended to help everyone at any level, okay? But I am treating it as if someone watching this had zero knowledge at all of how to script, okay? So you, with this knowledge, might want to skip around in the video a little bit if you know what I'm talking about already, and that is totally fine. Definitely feel free to do that. But I am going to be targeting this at everyone with the beginner in mind. So just letting you know right there that you might already know the information and you should skip ahead if you do. And if not, then let's go do this thing, man. You're gonna learn how to script and it's exciting and yeah. All right. So, first things first, I am here in my game. I just made a brand new game. It's completely empty, haven't done anything. I have put in one script to test, but I'll just delete that. Alright, so let's talk about first my screen. This is not what your screen will look like if you are new to Studio, okay? That's expected. So let me first show you this View tab. Okay, this up here will be here. The ribbon, which is this little top section, will be there if you have just opened Studio, and you might have some other random stuff open that we're going to move around and do a little bit. I'm going to show you how to set it up exactly how I have mine set up, so if you can't find something, you'll be able to go exactly to the place that I go to, but be aware you can have this set up however you want, okay? It will not make a difference. It's purely preference, okay? So, I will go down to where there's nothing visible. So this is, well, other than this, there we go. This is what it probably won't look like this. I haven't had Default Studio in a long time, but if you had no tabs open or anything, this is what it would look like, which it probably doesn't, but this is what it could look like. So what you want to do, as I already showed you, you want to go to the View tab, all right? The most important things in game development on Roblox, I would say, would be the Explorer tab over here, which this is a position that it should be in, I think, and the Properties tab, which might be over here or it might be over here, okay? The Explorer tab is every item in your game, okay? So let's visualize for a minute. If I can, I will use Notepad to try to show this. So we have, in our game, this is the structure of the game, okay? So there is an object, which I should actually call an object game, which is a server instance, which I don't even know if you can see that or not. Let's go right here. There is a server instance for every game. So if you click join a game, what that does, it says start of the game, whatever, it shows you joining it. It creates a new instance of the server and of the client. You, on your computer, are the client, okay? So you make a new game, it has two parts to it, server and client. Now, a server, you do things on the server with regular script items, okay? On the client, you do things with local scripts, okay? So don't freak out. I'm sure this doesn't make very much sense to you, but in time it will. So just keep this in mind. This is the hierarchy or the order how things are structured of a game on Roblox. Now, inside of the game, you have this. So game is not shown here. Game is the parent to all of these items, okay? So with that in mind, if I wanted to call like game.workspace, I would be calling this thing here. And then if I wanted to do something to this part, I could call game.workspace.baseplate. All right? And then I would be talking about this one. But that might be a little bit confusing to you, so I'll go back on that. But just be aware that workspace is, and all of these things are a child of game. And Explorer is how, which is this tab over here, is how you view all of these things. And it's just everything in your game. Properties, on the other hand, is, well, it's what it sounds like. It's the properties of whatever you have selected. So base plate, which is this part here, has brick color, material, reflectance, transparency, and all of these other properties. Properties you can change. If we wanted to change the name of this to Bob, then now we have our part named Bob in workspace, but we're not going to do that. So I'm going to hit Control Z to undo that to base plate. That being said, those are your two main ones. For scripting, you want to also have output visible, which is this one, and output will, I'll show you what that does, but it just shows you a lot of stuff that's going on and whatnot, and it's very good to have, and you will need it. It's not something that you just want. Command bar you won't necessarily need for this, but later on for different things you will want that. Object browser is a dictionary, pretty much, of every potential item or event you could have in the game. So it's really big. But if I wanted to know, for example, what properties there are of a part, I could click part, and these are all the events or methods actually of part, which I'll explain later on. These are all your properties, and these are all your events. And then also wait for child, but that is inherited, which once again you won't understand. It's not super important yet, but eventually you'll get it. Along with this, you'll want Toolbox. This is where you get your free models and stuff, which you shouldn't use unless you're trying to learn from them. Yes, that is an opinion that you will often find, and I do agree with it. You can have your models, etc., etc. So yeah, you'll want that. And by the way, to move these and order them, you hold it, you click on its name, you can just drag it around, and it will automatically fill it in wherever you put it, because Roblox is nice like that. But so yeah, I don't know where it's going to show these up whenever you first open them like that. But what I do, I drag my properties and toolbox onto the left side on top of each other so I can tab between them. I have Explorer over here. And then one other thing that you want to go to Model and then click Advanced Objects. And then I have these two here shared. Uh, and with that, I can just come over here and insert stuff, and it's really good and dandy. Yeah, so that is my structure for my screen. Now let's get into the actual scripting since we've gone over the absolute bare basics. So what we're going to do, I'm going to right click, and there are many ways you can do this. I'll show you every way, but we want to insert an object. So I'm going to right click on the middle of the screen, go down to insert object, and this is showing every item that I was showing you over in advanced objects a second ago, this window over here. These are those items that I can insert from the selection that I currently have, which is workspace. So we want to insert a new script. So we'll go down to here and click script, and that put a new script in workspace, you see, because workspace holds every physical item in the game like this. But of course, it doesn't have to actually be physical per se, but that is where it is, because a script, you can't see a script inside the game, only in workspace. But I'm going a little bit crazy in detail there. Don't worry about it. It'll all make sense later on. Just bear with me. And then also what we just did with that, with the insert object, you can do the same thing over here in advanced objects. You just scroll down, you find script, or you can search for it like that. Okay, so those are all your options for that. So let's go over here. We'll double click on script to open it. So this is our first script here. We have it open, and it says print hello world. Now you might be wondering what this does, so I will show you. We're going to go over here to test. We're going to click run. Now what you'll see is this text, hello world, inside of your output bar, okay? So with that in mind, you might understand now that the print method will print to output, and that is literally all it does. It also prints to the server or client whenever you are in-game and you press F9, which I don't think you can do it in Studio, or I would show you. But that is also later on. If we get to a debugging stage in our video series, then I will show you that certainly, because that is very valuable. So to do our own, we're going to print hi. Okay, so let's try it. And there it says hi. So that is working, and that's good. So that is the first method that we will learn, just print. And that's pretty much all there is to it. What you'll use print for, you'll put it at different points in your script later on. Like if you have a script that doesn't work the way you want it to, for say, you'll put print tests, they call them print tests. You'll put them throughout the test, throughout the script, I mean, to figure out where it's messed up, okay? And I will show you that in the future, but we can't really do that right now, so we don't have the knowledge base for it. So, next thing I want to show you is called variables. It's like that. If you have taken an algebra class, you'll already know what this is. For example, x equals 3, x is the variable. Now, I've had them described to me before as like a cup. Okay, a variable is a cup, and whatever value you set the variable to is filling that cup, okay? So x is a cup here, and 3 is inside of the cup, so it would be like the water or the tea or whatever you're drinking. Variables, you can name mainly whatever you want. So we could have a variable called Jim equals 2. We could have a variable called Bob equals Tom. We could have a variable called Frank and equal that to an object or game.workspace, okay? We could do that. These are all variables. Jim holds an integer value, which is any number between negative infinity and infinity. So it's any number that is that any whole number. That's the word I'm looking for. An integer is any whole number. Okay, so this could be negative 9999999. That's an integer. This could be 9999999. This could be 3. Okay, they're all integers. So Jim just holds an integer. Bob is equal to a string. A string is always between quotation marks like this, okay? So hi here, this is a string, okay? If I don't have those, I just type hi. It's not a string. It would in this case be considered a variable. It doesn't have a value here, so we can set hi equal to 6. Now it's a variable. But if we put it in here, then it's a string, okay? So a string is it's mainly a word, or it can have numbers in it like that. It's just any combination of characters, and a character, of course, being a letter or a number. And then this is an object, which is game.workspace, which is right here. We talked about that earlier, and that's that. So we're going to make a thing called a local variable. So a local variable, which we'll set it to that, a local variable stays inside of wherever it's declared. For now, don't worry too much about it. Be aware that most of the time you'll want to use local variables for the sake of fluidity and cleanliness in your code. Uh, it'll make more sense what these are in the future. This might be overwhelming to you right now, but just keep watching this tutorial series, and if you have to, make sure you go back and watch them again if you don't get it once we get to the later videos and something you're a little bit confused about, because it all goes together. I promise you, everything goes together, and it'll be like a switch whenever you get it, and you'll understand it, okay? So don't get overwhelmed and scared. It will make sense. Just stick with it. Trust me. So we have our local var equal to 2. Now we're going to use our other function that we learned earlier, print, and guess what we can do? Earlier we were giving it a string to say hello world, which is what the default was, like that. That works. It'll say hello world, as we've seen, or hi, as we did on here with a string. We can also, if we take out the quotation marks, pass it a variable, okay? So we have var equal to 2. Var is a variable, a local variable. It's equal to 2. We're printing var. So what's actually going to be in the output is the number 2. Okay, so whenever you print a variable, it's going to use the variable's value. So var is only what you use to call 2 in this case, or if it were set to hi, then you'd be calling hi. So now that we're printing var and var is equal to hi, it will say hi, and that's what we're looking for. Finally, in this video, I'm going to show you one more thing, which is called a function. So a function has four main parts, okay? 5 technically. So the first part, if we're doing 5 parts, would be this word here, function. Function is the keyword, so it lets the script know that you are making a new function, okay? Next, it has the name. Okay, so name can be whatever you want. If we are making a function to print out the word hi, which I guess we will do, we would say print hi. So now this function's name is print hi. This can be whatever you want. It could be a cow. Okay, this word does not matter. It can be anything. So if we go function print hi, which I guess we would do for now, the next part, the third part, so we have our keyword function to let it know we're making a function. We have our name print hi, and then we have our parameters / arguments. Now what these are things that you pass to a function for variables or values and whatnot. Once again, don't worry about those right now. They are immensely important, but you would have trouble understanding them at this point if you're a beginner. Fourth part is the actual code. So what we're going to do here, we're going to print hi and then give it a string hi. And then finally our end. Every function has to have the text end, which is a keyword, to close it off. Okay, and that's the same for conditionals and loops and all of this, but we'll talk about those at a later date. So now we have our function print hi. And you think, well, if we run it now, is it going to print hi? No, it will not. A function has to be called. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we're going to print hi like that. And this is a function call. So if we add another function called key, another function called no, and we called function key. Nope, sorry, that's not what you do at all. I don't know why I typed that out. Well, key, this is a call to the function key because we got its name and then its parameters and arguments inside of here, which we don't have any yet. This is calling print high because it's its name. So we have key now as well. I called key. So what we're going to do, we're going to see both high and I called key. It will say high first because this is higher up in the script, okay? So the script runs from the top to bottom, so it's going to say hi, and then it will say I called key. When we run it, we can see it says hi, I called key. Another way we can do with this is if we wanted to, we could, in print high, we could call key, okay? So now we will remove this, and it's going to print I called key because this will call the function print high, and then print high will call the function key, all right? And it's going to say I called key. So we'll run it. Just kidding. What did I do here? Let's see. Line 2. Okay, so I tried to run this above the function key. So we'll have to go down here. We'll have to move this down as well. Like I said, it looks at the script from the top down. So that means that if I wanted to, like I just did there, I wanted to call key, key has to be above where I'm calling it then, in most cases, because it won't know what it is until it's been up here. So you have to just put it above it and be aware of that. And now we will see I called key. Okay, so guys, that's going to be it for this first tutorial. Sorry if it was a little complicated, but please just listen to me. Believe me when I tell you, it gets so much easier with time. And of course, it's not easy. It will get hard as you get to the expert levels and whatnot. But just stick with it. Trust me, believe me, it will make sense as you do it. Please don't get discouraged if it's complicated. And like I said, as you watch more of these tutorials, do not be afraid to go back and watch the old ones because it all goes together. Okay. And please just trust me when I tell you that. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you will subscribe if you have not already. Please share this video with your friends if you think it was helpful. And check out the next one. All right, well, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.